Let's go to a quick face-off in our Lion's Den debate panel. We've got Boyce Watkins for the prosecution. He's a social commentator versus Anna Yum, criminal defense attorney for the defense. We begin with Anna. How's this Corey Stroller, this swaggering, some might say cocky defense attorney for Michael Dunn, doing thus far?
You know, I think he's doing a great job, Jane. And the reason I say that is I compare what he's doing compared to what ASA Wolfson was doing. She was yelling at the jury. She wasn't talking to them. I don't think that she was doing a good job of really conveying the story, whereas Corey Stroller is masterful in the way that he's talking to the jury, he's explaining beyond a reasonable doubt, and he's explaining the reasoning as to why it's so important that the cops, that he argues, didn't do their job in this case.
All right, Boyce Watkins, social commentator, founder of Your Black World for the prosecution.
Well, you know, I would say that this case is something that is really built for people who are experts in common sense. Even if you look at the reasonable doubt standard here, I don't think that anything that's been stated by the defense attorney really constitutes reasonable doubt. I think if you really look at this and you say, well, what if Jordan Davis got out of the car? Well, he didn't have a gun when he got out of the car, so what excuse does Dunn have for shooting him? And then when you add in Dunn's actions after the fact, I think that creates a pretty clear case in the minds of most people.
And of course, the defense claims, well, he did have a gun, and even though the prosecution says that's nonsense, the defense is saying, well, you know, they never searched the area for a gun, so hypothetically it could exist. Is that enough for reasonable doubt? And
Michael Dunn is.
All right,
I
Adam Zwickle. Okay, what?
Well,
no, wait,
yeah,
let's go to Anna Yum. What do you say?
I have to disagree with Simone. I think that Corey Stroller did an excellent job today, and the reason I say that is twofold. One, I think he did an excellent job in clarifying to the jury that the defense has no burden here. It's the state that has the burden to disprove that his client was not acting in self-defense. And also, I think he did a masterful job in explaining, look, don't buy the DA's argument that it's not my job, I don't have to do this, it's not my job. Sure, it's your job. If you're going to convict my client, do your job. And the cops didn't do a lot of the things that they were supposed to do. And I think that he really brought it home in his argument.
A little bit, Rolanda Watts.
Yeah.
Let's dive into him.
But stylistically, look, Jane, this is the thing. I'm generally not a fan of John Guy because I think he generally oversells his case and I think he can be overdramatic, but I have a different opinion on him. I actually think he's been pretty effective in his rebuttal because the reason I say that is he's really explaining to the jury that the defense hasn't provided any answers as to why Mr. Dunn didn't do the commonsensical things that most people would have done, which is call 911, which is get the police involved right away. So I think that he's actually pretty effective.
Rolanda Watts, I think he suffers sometimes from what I'm hearing is almost like a sermon, and I think it's maybe a tad over dramatic, and I'm just saying that to play devil's advocate.
I think so too. I completely agree. I stand by my position that I think he was effective, but he's so over dramatic, and you know what? It just takes one.
But that's his
style. It just takes
Jane,
one.
let me ask you a question.
For the
One at a time.
and for the defense to win in this case, and it just takes one juror to be offset by him being over dramatic, and possibly, like Adam was saying, selling the emotions and the rage as opposed to the facts. And whether there was a reasonable claim of self-defense.
Well, you can't.
Yeah, but Jane,
you know,
Jane.
they accused the first prosecutor who was facts, and everybody said, "Oh, she's boring." That's what all the Twitter. She's boring with all these facts.
But
so
she was also
win.
yelling at people, Jane. She was also yelling at people, and she was talking at the jurors as opposed to talking to them. Don't you think? I think there's a huge difference between her and how
Hold on a second.
Guy is.
I want to give everybody a chance. Rolanda.
Can I say one thing, Jane?